Hey friends, Neil here with another concept video for you. This time we're looking at two sports combined into one. We've definitely done this on the channel a couple of times from designers in the community, but this time we've got NHL teams in soccer or FIFA uniforms. Now I have to admit I'm very late with this video. These concepts were actually submitted to the channel February of 2023, so it's actually almost been 2 years. I apologize to the designer whose name is Luca. He submitted these a long time ago. I definitely should have got to them way sooner, and that can be said with a lot of the secondary concepts I have submitted by people, and by secondary I mean non-traditional NHL jersey concepts. Could be other stuff. So I'm trying to get through all that stuff. There's a bit of a backlog, so I do apologize, but hey, welcome, and we're going to look at some pretty cool crossover concepts. Let's jump in and let's take a peek. I've not seen these. I've been sitting on these for 2 years. I've not seen these. So let's react to these together and have some fun. Let's jump in. And Anaheim should be first as far as abbreviation. Let's bring it up. All right. So, it's a little bit different than what we're used to seeing with NHL jerseys themselves. There's a completely different design concepts when it comes to soccer jerseys or football uniforms, jerseys, or whatever. It's a completely different style. Traditional soccer jerseys or football jerseys look different than traditional hockey jerseys. So even though this specific design doesn't work for me in my traditional hockey jersey mindset, I can't really think that way for this video. I have to think about what would be acceptable or regular for a soccer jersey design or a football jersey design. So I think this is exactly in line with that. This is something that I would expect to see from a team, playing soccer or football. So I'm fully on board for this. I think it's, the colors are there. You got black, you got orange as a secondary. There's a bit of gray in there as well. And then the gold as in the neck, in the numbers, or I guess it's not gold. I'm sorry, more like a beige, I guess. So yeah, pretty good start. I think this is exactly what I would expect. So let's continue. Arizona. So this was submitted rather 2 years ago, like I said, and I'm only getting to film it now in a time where Arizona does not exist. Obviously, we know that Utah does and Arizona doesn't at this point. So, but at the time that these were designed, that wasn't even a thought. Arizona was still kind of trucking along. So this is Arizona. This is the Coyotes, and I think it speaks Coyotes as well. It's a little bit difficult to see the kind of Kachina pattern in the background because the base layer of the jersey is like a charcoal. It's not jet black, it's more of a charcoal. But then the red on top isn't a traditional red. It's almost like a dried blood or a very deep maroon or something. So it's a bit difficult to see, but it does look good. I think this is one of those jerseys that would look a little bit lifeless from afar, but the closer that you got, the more that you would appreciate it. So I do like that aspect of it, and I do like the bit of green in the collar too, because green is one of their little secret colors. So let's continue. The Boston Bruins. This actually isn't that far off from what I may expect from an NHL jersey. If you look at the shoulders being a different color, we see that in the NHL continuing down the arms. The striping, you could look at that as pinstriping coming down the arms. We've seen that in the NHL. And additionally, even with the Boston Bruins, you see how this almost graffiti kind of faded striping happening at the bottom and at the top. Well, the Boston Bruins haven't really done that, but in a way they kind of have. If you look at the Reverse Retro 2.0 and that design, which was based off the original Pooh Bear jersey in the 1996 or whenever it was, doesn't really matter, in the 90s sometime or early 2000s, it's kind of similar to this. And you can almost make the relation in your head pretty quickly, and because you can, it feels appropriate. It feels exactly in line, and also it looks like slashes from a bear. So I think this is the perfect design for the Boston Bruins. Actually, the Buffalo Sabres. That is a lot of striping. It's very almost like wonky in a way, or it's kind of hard to describe. It almost looks 3D. Not necessarily in a bad way or a good way, but overall, I think it is a little bit busy just for me, even for a soccer jersey here. So I would maybe say this one's the worst one so far. Continuing on, the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, as a hockey jersey, this would never work. This would be way too busy. It's not even plausible, honestly. Even for like a stadium series jersey, it's not even plausible. Can't even have the conversation about it. That's how kind of bold it is. But for a football soccer jersey, absolutely. This is exactly what they do a lot of the time. So I think this is actually perfect. And you almost get like a bit of a maze kind of happening here. You kind of follow the negative space of the warning pattern there. So this is pretty cool, actually. I like it for soccer. Okay, Columbus Blue Jackets. Honestly, if it wasn't for that little tiny logo up there, I don't think I would maybe even think about Columbus Blue Jackets. There's no kind of texture in the background telling me it's Columbus. The colorization isn't necessarily even traditional Columbus Blue Jackets. It's off jersey Columbus Blue Jackets. So without that logo, and it is the Canada logo on there to kind of match the color scheme. It doesn't mean I don't like it. I'm just saying that it doesn't scream Columbus Blue Jackets to me. So I probably consider this maybe a subtle miss, or a little bit of a miss. The Calgary Flames. Here's a really good example of the opposite of that. When I look at this, even without the Calgary Flames logo, if you said, Neil, what NHL team is this? That's Calgary Flames. It's red as the base color. You've got flames in the background of the jersey. Yellow is the secondary. It's Calgary Flames. So I think this screams Calgary Flames. I think it screams soccer football. Totally on board for that. And by the way, I have to keep saying soccer football because in America it's called soccer. In Europe it's called football. And when I make these videos and I only call it soccer, I have everyone in Europe mad at me. And if I don't say soccer and I only say football, then I have everyone in North America mad at me. Just for the record, I'm saying both to appease everyone. Next, the Chicago Blackhawks. Yes, for two reasons, actually. Reason number one, it's very soccer football. And number two, it's honestly very traditional Chicago in a way. If you look at Reverse Retro 2.0 with all of that kind of linear horizontal striping that they have from top to bottom of the jersey, this is kind of like a condensed version of that with way more stripes but smaller stripes. And Chicago has kind of done that in their past. So this is very logical by the designer, and it's exactly what I would expect. It's good. Colorado Avalanche, I'd get it from the colors, but not necessarily from the design. I think this is maybe a bit of a missed opportunity. To me, I get piano vibes from it, honestly. Like if you took this jersey and kind of tilted it to the side, because the way that the striping kind of fades off, it looks a little bit like a piano. That doesn't say anything about the almost the Columbus Blue Jackets, about the Colorado Avalanche here. I think this is a missed opportunity in terms of imagery. The Colorado Avalanche have so many opportunities, design and graphic-wise, because of their logo, because of their name. I think you could probably do something a little bit cooler with this one. Next, the Dallas Stars. I mean, if you look at the alternate jersey from the NHL, from the Dallas Stars, and how popular it is, it directly translates to this very, very well. The bright, vibrant green that we have in here, matched with the deep, dark black and charcoal, the contrast is so nice. So this is an excellent cross between the two sports here. Next, the Detroit Red Wings. It kind of looks like a sweater vest or like a polo shirt or like a golf shirt even. And that's not a negative thing I'm saying about this doesn't look like a soccer jersey. It's more so a compliment to the Detroit Red Wings kind of like design language and their traditionality in terms of keeping things simple, keeping things respectful, not kind of pushing the boundaries. It looks very proper. It looks almost like business. Like it's a very business kind of look. That's what Detroit is kind of known for. They're used to keeping things a little bit formal, a little bit business in their design. So I think Luka has done a great job here, kind of translating that into a soccer football jersey. It's good. The Edmonton Oilers. This is pretty funky, and I think the texture is quite accurate to the brand because when you look at the Oilers and you think about oil as itself is black and it's very viscous and stuff. But when you add oil to water, you kind of get this, it's almost like when you see gasoline and water kind of mix. You have these like cool textures and weird chemical stuff happening, and you can see that almost in the texture here. So I think the texture is perfect, and I also think going with blue as the primary color, the dark blue, lighter blue as the texture, so you can kind of see it up close, but from afar, maybe it just looks blue. And then the orange as that kind of accent color, very vibrant, perfect. Next to Florida Panthers. This is kind of reverse retro 2.0. And if maybe you clicked on this video because you're a soccer fan or FIFA fan and you have no idea about hockey, this is a really good opportunity to go check out some hockey jerseys. So if you are that person, go into Google after this video and type Florida Panthers reverse retro 2.0, and you'll really see the relationship here between this one and the reverse retro 2.0. Great job. I don't necessarily love the texture because it doesn't really speak Florida Panthers. It actually speaks more Edmonton Oilers than I think even the Edmonton Oilers one did. But it's still pretty cool. It's funky. It's funky, right? And the colors are awesome. So, yep. The LA Kings, that is actually phenomenal. I really like it because to me, this isn't just a jersey. It's a whole uniform. The purple pants, or shorts, I guess, rather, kind of the transition up to the bottom of the jersey. It bridges that gap, purple to purple, and then that kind of patterned gradient that kind of goes up into the white. This is really, to me, a perfect crossover from sport to sport. Really good execution, right in line with soccer football designs. I like it a lot. This is my favorite so far. The Minnesota Wild, an interesting texture. Not necessarily my favorite, but if you look at the entire kit to the right, that looks exactly like something I'd see on the field. So I can't really knock it that much. The colors are very awesome as well. So this one's cool. The Montreal Canadiens, kind of like the Detroit one. It almost looks like a polo golf shirt in a good way. Like, it looks very business or business casual. It's exactly kind of what I would expect from the Montreal Canadiens or any original six team. So I think Luka did a really good job with this one as well. Additionally, taking the kind of regular design of the Montreal Canadiens home jersey and again translating it into a different version, just updated a little bit. And I think that stripe across there is exactly, again, something that I would expect. So another good one. The Devils. This is really cool, actually. You like it. There's so much mystery and it almost like I guess spookiness isn't really the word that I was looking for, but it's kind of spooky in a way because it's dark. The lines fade into one another. They oppose one another, coming into like this kind of mystery area. There's a lot going on. You're visually, it's very kind of distracting, but in a very good way. At the bottom of the jersey, you've got almost these white flames coming up. It's pretty cool. I like it. Next, the Nashville Predators. Okay, so the pattern in the background I've definitely seen in soccer football before. Totally fine. The rest of the jerseys are relatively generic. You just got some blue on the neck and on the end of the sleeves or arms there, and a number on the front. It's absolutely something I would see in soccer, but just not my favorite design so far. Okay, the Islanders. I maybe kind of like the Colorado Avalanche. I think this is maybe a missed opportunity. The pattern or texture in the background is a bit grungy, and not necessarily that's a bad thing. It's just that it's also been upscaled or upresed. It's very blurry. It's very almost pixelated. There's no hard, rigid lines like traditional graffiti, so it looks too blurry for me. If you're gonna go that direction, I think we need that rigidness that you get from graffiti or that splattered paint kind of look. It's really cool. Just maybe think there's a bit of a missed opportunity here. The Rangers, wow, the kind of sash logo in behind that you can barely see. I'm kind of okay with that, actually. I really like the shoulders. I think those are perfectly executed. Blue with the red on top, kind of coming all the way down. This is great. I like it a lot. The Ottawa Senators, that's actually pretty cool as well. Yeah, that's really really cool. I'd be very curious to see if you made the numbers in the front a little bit smaller, and you made the one white on top of the red, and then you made the eight, or you left the eight red on top of the white. Would that be a little bit too jarring? I just find like you almost lose the one in the red a little bit, but I like that stripe. That's cool. Flyers, the texture looks like a sweater vest. It looks like cotton or kind of some kind of sweater. So I don't necessarily love that, but the design's okay. Overall, design's okay. Next, Pittsburgh Penguins. This is cool. This is very, very soccer football. It doesn't scream Pittsburgh to me because of the beige, kind of almost green military tinge to this, but I really like it overall. It's very cool. Yeah, so it's not going to be my favorite, just looking at this here for a couple of minutes. It's not going to be my favorite, but it's definitely not my least favorite either. I'd say middle ground. Okay, so the Seattle Kraken. This is pretty cool. I would like to see maybe some red introduced here, just because I love the red. I love the red in the eye there. So I don't know where you'd put it in this jersey, but as is, it looks very good. Got the teal, the dark blue, looks awesome. Nice texture kind of pattern in the background. San Jose Sharks. Yeah, pretty good. I guess this is a little bit Edmonton Oilers oil and water kind of texture as well in the background. Maybe a little bit missed opportunity. You could do some waves or something, but it definitely looks cool. No knocking it. Okay, St. Louis Blues. Yeah, not too bad. A little bit generic. Get that kind of heathered, weathered look in the arms, which looks okay. Yeah, it's all right. Moving on, the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is cool. I really like the lightning bolt coming off of the arm like that and just kind of keeping the rest just white. Like that's not really a bad decision. You see that lots in this sport, so I'm okay with that. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Yeah, again, I guess I would say kind of like the Montreal Canadiens and the Detroit Red Wings, just a simplistic, no nonsense design here. You're not going to offend anyone with this. There's some texture in the background, but it's fine. So yeah, I'm on board with this. Just a good traditional six design here. Vancouver. I understand what he's going for with the green V in the middle. It's just a bit, it's a bit Islanders again with the, it almost looks blurry in a way. So you've got this very sharp, rigid texture on the arm, but then the opposite of that kind of design concept on the front where it's a bit faded around the edges and it almost looks pixelated a little bit. So it's kind of conflicting. Whoa, the Golden Knights. I wouldn't have suspected Golden Knights. I actually would have suspected Pittsburgh without the logo because Pittsburgh is Steel City. So if you look at the texture on this jersey, it almost looks like scratched like stainless steel or metal or steel or whatever. I get that kind of vibe from this. Plus it's yellow or gold and with the black. Like this screams Pittsburgh Penguins to me. Nothing about this says the Vegas Golden Knights other than the logo on the front. I think this could be swapped maybe with the Pittsburgh one, but I like it. I definitely like it. Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like I really like the colors. The dark blue and the light blue look great together, much like the Seattle one. White as the primary is okay. Textures is pretty good. I really like the texture in the arms actually. That bit of almost like storm rain, like wind rain happening. That might have been cool to see in the Tampa Bay one. And the Washington Capitals here with our last one. I know what they're going for. I know what Luca's going for here. It's the, what year? I guess it was in the 90s at some point. And then we got the Reverse Retro 2.0. Actually, it's behind me, just over my shoulder there. So obviously Luca's going right after that kind of design from those years, which is great. I like the pattern in the background is weird to me. It almost has this Kachina look in the middle. I'm not sure if you'd be able to tell on your screen or not. But it's a kind of like a Kachina pattern in the middle, and I'm not sure what's happening above and below, so it's okay. My favorite, I think I actually know it still. I think it's the LA one. I'm just gonna go back and take another peek at it. Yeah, I just like the whole uniform here. Like obviously I talked a lot about jerseys in this video, but I think this one caught my eye as a uniform right away. Beautiful transition from shorts to the bottom of the jersey. Great transition from sport to sport, hockey to soccer or football. It's great. I really like it. The colors are awesome as well, going right back to 1967 when the LA Kings came into the NHL with these colors. So that's going to be my favorite. And Lucas, thank you so much for submitting those. I really appreciate it. My apologies once again for the delay on that. And I am doing my best to get caught up on some of these concepts that have been sitting, these concept sets. And I feel like every week I say that I really have so many videos to make, which is true, and I just end up like it's Wednesday, it's Thursday, and I'm like, where did the week go? Like I guess I'm just off doing other things, and I feel like I'm neglecting the channel a little bit, and I also feel like I don't really have that much to talk about, so I'm kind of twofold. I think the channel is suffering a little bit in terms of content, so I apologize for that. But I'm definitely not going anywhere. I'm just struggling a little bit to find the time and to find the right content to kind of push out. I think concepts are great, but I'd also like to do other stuff than that. So it's a little bit difficult to do other stuff when you're not actually watching regular hockey. I can't keep up with the NHL. I can't really talk about what's going on in the NHL. But I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride, regardless of how much you watch or how little, or maybe you only catch every fourth or fifth video. Doesn't really matter to me as long as you're having a great time on YouTube, whether it's watching me or someone else in the community. That's what makes me happy, is if you're enjoying great content online. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you are new and you do like this content, love to have you on board for concepts every single Friday on the channel. Actually, we do NHL concepts, so if you do like hockey, make sure you join for that. And of course, if you did like this video and crossover between the two sports, hit that like button down below. That tells me that you like this type of video. All right, have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Adios.